Good morning and happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to Elite Zone with Shauna Stephens and myself, Max Bergstrom. This is a podcast where we like to help real estate agents become more successful, make more money, market better, and develop more visibility in their local markets. Shauna, what's going on? How are you?
Awesome. Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm excited. I love the weekend because I get to do more work. Uh, but there's some exciting stuff going on this weekend. I believe there's a birthday in the family to celebrate,
I
and
definitely have some birthdays.
yeah. I love the holidays. It gets busy, but it's always fun. It's always exciting. And for real estate agents, I think that the market may slow down a little bit, but I think that this is the time for them to really look at the areas for improvement and hone in on that, and then look forward. But don't stop. Right? Don't give up just because it's a slower season, because the visible
Yeah,
agents are going to be the ones that when things pick up again in the spring, they're the ones front and center, right?
absolutely. It's you're just reallocating your time, right? You're
Exactly.
not you're not showing as many houses possibly, you're not doing things like that. So instead of freaking out about that, it's like what can I do? Where do I put that time and energy? And
Hmm.
it's about setting out yourself to close out the year right, but kick off 2026, right?
Exactly. Yep.
The The biggest home search month of the entire year is January,
There
always.
you go. Yep.
And so
New
you
year. Everybody's thinking, what do I want this year?
resolutions, what
Yep.
do I want,
Yep.
right? So the biggest thing is if you start now, you're already a little behind, but don't get further behind, right? So keep building, start building now so you can kick off. The idea is, what is somebody gonna type in so that you pop up so that you're found first and trusted most before everybody else, right?
Exactly.
So that's what we're here to help you with. That's what we want to do. That's what we want to prepare you for.
Yep, for sure. And we are definitely going to have an episode this month or I'm sorry, next month, where we talk all about 2026. However, today, we're going to talk about something we haven't spoken about in a while. We're going to talk about branding, design, and kind of the power of cohesive marketing materials for agents, because we talk about strategies, tactics. We talk about visibility a lot. We talk about sales and engaging and speed to lead and all these things, but there's some great tools that Agent Elite has available for branding. But I want to go kind of into the psychology and things as well, and talk about effective branding, the look, the feel, the kind of emotions that conveys to people, depending on what style, what type of agent you want to be. But then
Yeah.
also, how do you get all that stuff made? How do you do it all without having to have Canva and Adobe and all these separated, segmented tools, where you just kind of feel, burnt out at the end of it, because, graphic design, and that's what it is. I mean, that takes time. You either have to pay
Yeah.
somebody to do it, or you're doing it yourself. But one way or another, it can be very labor intensive. So, to kick things off, I mean, your brand is going to show up before you do. That's what people are going to see, right? It's an online world. And in 2025, buyers and sellers are going to be judging you instantly, because your visual identity comes up first, coupled with your reviews and content and all of that stuff. So if you don't have some sort of cohesive branding, or, if you're an agent showing up in shorts and a Hawaiian shirt, but your headshot is you in a suit, and your branding looks like it's from 1997, the stuff might be kind of discombobulating for people.
Yeah.
And this isn't to say that a consumer would be like, "Hey, I noticed your brand is really discombobulated." It's not that. It just cues it psychologically, right?
Yeah.
It's like you don't know why, but it's something is just kind of like, oh, okay, I don't get it. So we know 97% of people are searching online for local businesses. They're searching on AI, and that consistent branding, Forbes says it increases revenue by up to 23%, which is important, especially in, slower times in the market. So if you're a real estate agent, we're going to talk about the first segment here is kind of like the branding crisis that some agents might have. So if you have a brand, Shauna, and you're a real estate agent, but you have inconsistent colors, font, style, tone, your website looks different than your social media, looks different than your headshots and your marketing material, flyers and postcards, and you kind of don't have like any sort of visual identity. What do you think that the message sends through, and why could that be problematic for real estate agents?
Yeah, great question, loaded. But the biggest thing I want to pick up on is like the branding and the font and stuff first, right? If you're looking at something and then you move to a different page or you go to social media from a website or anything like that, and that font shifts, the brain kind of goes, wait, this looks different. Is this the same? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the piece of like the visibility and branding being consistent from a consumer's mind. This looks different. And then they don't associate you and your brand to this because it just looks different, right?
Yep.
It you can go a couple different ways on that, but in reality, if you can keep it easy for yourself and use the same fonts, same thing, you're going to create that consistency visually, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I want to take it a step further, like you said, is you know the visibility and is bigger than just your website these days. Is bigger than just your business card these days. Is bigger than just the referral,
Yep.
right? And and what we're seeing with successful agents is that people are choosing them first because they trust them most versus
Yes.
the guy down the street, the gal down the street, right? So your competitors are taking up the business that should be yours, right? And the reason that's happening is like everybody's referral based, they want to be referral based, right? But what's the first thing that somebody searches when you're referred? Oh, let me just check this person out, right? If I
Yep.
was referred, I'm just gonna say, Max, you're an agent. And they're like, yeah, use Max Bergstrom, he's the agent. And I go and I type in Max Bergstrom, real estate agent, and I don't like what I see, or I don't see enough of you, I'm gonna make my own decision to be like, okay, cool, thanks for the referral, but I'm gonna find somebody else, right? We are
Yep.
in that, knowledge era where everybody knows best, right?
Exactly.
They
Yep.
know better about you and your service than you do in their mind, right? We know that's not true, but in the
Mm-hmm.
consumer mind, they know best, right? And
Yep.
so instead of fighting and resisting them knowing best, why not take advantage of all the data out there and make sure that what they're reading about you is the facts and is right so that it's like, hey, yeah, they know best because I give them the information that they should know about me. And what's happening right now is agents are kind of a little bit behind on that piece, and they're allowing people to find them on Zillow, and they're allowing them to find them on Homes or Google or these things that they're not owning and taking and maintaining that update. And
Yep.
so what happens is if I go type in Max Bergstrom real estate agent and you're no longer owning that search result for your own name, it's everybody else is monetizing that on your behalf, right? So Zillow's eating up the traffic and gaining the awareness because they have your name. And we want to kind
Right.
of make that shift. We want you to own that brand where you have it everywhere. And there's a lot of tools we have, right? We have local presence, we have different product lines, right? We cater to everybody. We are no longer just a website company.
Right.
Yes, we do still specialize with websites and everything, and we do have amazing ranking and everything. But the difference is you can no longer just get by with a website or with local presence or with, a Google business page or with, Canva or Design Studio, whatever you need a cohesive system that allows you to, kind of own all of that about your business.
Yep. No, all great points. And I think like one of the big things that I got from that is that inconsistency, whether it's in your branding or marketing or your visibility, your presence, inconsistency equals lack of trust.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
So that's a really big one. And when we talk about cohesive branding, I think, color palette, typography, logo placement, like, we were talking about that kind of stuff. And I think that it's probably less important now than it was 50 years ago because everybody was seeing, ads in the newspaper and there's so much
Yeah.
more available. But brand is important because, if you look at the mega brands, they're branded really well, they're cohesive, and it's not just their fonts and templates, but it's their tone, it's the messaging, it's the emotion that they want to get across, it's the hook line. So having that unified messaging, any taglines that are repeated visual touch points, similar themes on print, social media, email, things like that. So, and I think, people like that. I always kind of like talk about it like a restaurant. Like you go to a restaurant because it's consistent and you like what you get, right? So if
Mhm.
you know you're going to like what you get and you keep seeing that, you're going to return and be like, "Oh yeah, this is familiar. I know this. I know I like it. So I'm going to consume it." And I think it's kind of the same way with a strong brand and branded content. So how do you think, or how would you explain that lack of that cohesiveness, or having tight designs, and good branding, how does that affect conversion, like when it comes to real estate agents and actually securing business?
Mhm. A lot of it is kind of to the point I made earlier of like your font. When it looks different, people kind of second guess or question, and you want to try to eliminate any friction in the mind, right? And so if I click from, Facebook to your website and the logo's a little different or the colors are different than what I was seeing on your Facebook or things like that, like it makes somebody go, "Wait a minute, is this still the same person? Did I go what's going on?" And if I have a second guess, it kind of pattern interrupts somebody to go, "Oh, wait, should I be doing this or not? What was I doing?"
Hmm.
Right? And what you wanna do is create that flow of kinda like, "Yes, plus yes, plus yes," and then they end up here, right? And so it's not about tricking somebody, it's about keeping them focused and, um, comfortable and confident, feeling like it's the same person, same brand, right?
Yes.
Is the biggest thing. So when you have that design aspect, you have your branding set up, it does help you. Doesn't mean don't use different fonts for different graphics, right? If you have a different
Right.
postcard, I'm obviously going to use a different thing, but you notice my
Yeah.
logo, my name, and everything's going to be consistent,
Right. But
right?
testing, which is something that we do with our branding, is testing.
Hmm.
Try different colors, try a different background, try, a different font. That isn't to say that, you can't test things out, because if you test something out and it's working really well, you might have to ask yourself, like, okay, wow, like maybe I need to shift a little bit with my content or with my brand, because this color palette and these fonts seem to be working really well, this style of graphics. So absolutely, like, dial it in and try new things. But yeah, having some sort of cohesiveness. If you look like two entirely different companies that sound entirely different, then that's like not
Yeah,
being cohesive.
absolutely. And you,
So,
you you hit on a good point of like testing things out, right? Even with our ads and everything that we run internally, right?
mhm,
We use different background colors, different things, and it doesn't matter what you like, right?
mhm,
And you have to
yep,
remember that
yep,
is if your customers and your audience is saying and clicking and engaging on something over here,
mhm,
do more of that because they like it,
yep,
right?
yep,
Not just what you like. And so we deal with that too, like when we're helping people create their website and everything. They're like, I want this. And we're like, hey, I get it, but the data that we have shows that consumers actually like this over this, right? And it's a hard thing to do of like, okay, let me go with that. I don't, right? But prime example is we have one of our best converting ads has a pink and yellow background. I absolutely
right.
despise it.
Me too.
Despise it.
I would
But
never design anything pink and yellow for myself, but when you guys said that, you're
but
like, the bright orange and the pink and yellow is like, that seems to work. It's like,
that's
okay.
what consumers like, and so you have to give the people what they want if you want to get more, right? And so it's not about doing more of what you like necessarily, it's doing more of what your industry, your audience likes, because at the end of the day, you are trying to get them to look at you, get them to use you, right?
Mhm.
And so that's the part where it's like the consumer's right on that aspect.
100%. I love that. And just so to drive that point home, some stats that support this, there's a few of them. People form brand judgments in 0.05 seconds. So in an instant, when they see something, they don't, like, your brain does it so quickly that you don't even logically process it,
Understand?
right?
Yeah.
It's an emotional thing. And yeah, we don't just create websites, but I want to drive this home. 75% of credibility is tied to website and design quality. That comes from Stanford.
Hmm.
Another one, consistent design increases trust by 80%. We talk about consistency, and color increases brand recognition by up to 80%. So, why are we trying those pink and yellow backgrounds? Why are we trying orange? Because if you just stick neutral, black, gray, white, you don't know. You don't know the other possibilities out there. So,
Absolutely.
try it, and to your point, do more of what works and less of what isn't. So I love that. um Now, how about, like, why do agents struggle with this kind of thing? Like, they're not designers, by nature. Maybe some are. Maybe, some might say, well, with AI, like, it's easier. And I get all that, but most agents, they're not designers. They don't know how to use advanced graphic tools and Adobe. Canva is great, but it's really open ended. So even to, like, get some sort of cohesive template so you can duplicate it, that's going to take time. And if you don't have anybody helping, at least with the consulting side, talking about some of these brand stats and things that we're talking about, it may be harder. Marketing takes a long time, developing a brand kit, like all of this stuff. If it's not systemized, it can be a lot, right? So you
It
end up
can be.
paying, right? So that's those pain points. Like, how can those pain points be addressed? What can agents do that are struggling with this kind of thing?
Yeah.
Hint, hint, hint. I think Design Studio is pretty
Yeah.
baller, but I might be
Yes.
a little
Sign up
biased.
for sign up for Agent Elite. I'm biased, right? So we have Design Studio, right? We have, and it's pre-templated designs. We're constantly adding new designs, hundreds a year, to it. It automatically pulls in your contact information once you set it up once, so that you're not recreating it over and over. Your
Hmm.
logos, everything's consistent. It uses a dark logo, light logo, so that it does a lot of that for you. All you have to do is really, like, click the design you want,
Yep.
and it does it. We even have the newer integration directly with a national MLS. So it'll pull in the listings and things like that. So pulls the photos, everything. If you don't like them, you always have the edit ability, but it's pretty much dummy proof now.
Yep.
Um,
Dial it in
and
once.
we, and I don't mean dummy proof as in, like, you're a dummy, but it's like I can't make a mistake when I go into it. I
No,
don't have to
yeah.
sit there and have a Harvard degree to use it,
Yeah, I
right?
like I like
Um,
being a dummy. That's great
so
because, less, like, that's the problem nowadays, is there's too much to do and our brains can only do so much, right? So dummy
yeah,
proof for me is great. If I can go in and this is just kind of like set it and forget it, then it's like
it
great. I
goes
don't
to your point of, like, Canva's so open source now, right?
Mhm.
Is technology was designed to make things easier, faster, better, and it's become so chaotic now with
Convoluted,
trying to
saturated.
trying to keep up with this and this company. I wanna be the everything company, and I wanna
Yep.
do this, and it's like they've created so much that it's like you have to have a degree just to use certain softwares now, because there's so many customizations that you can do. And so out of the box is like, here's the base, but you need to go in and have a coding to set everything up. And so we try to bring it down to, like, we get it. Agents are busy. They don't want to be stuck behind a computer. They don't want to be graphic designers. They don't want to, like, who has the time to be a graphic designer, a marketing expert, a website developer, and a real estate agent, and, like, all of those things. And so we've created the tools that have been tried, true, tested, to give agents back their time.
For sure, for sure. And yeah, I mean, and that's, well, yeah, social posts, flyers, brochures, buyer seller guides, door hangers, postcards, listing kits, branding kits, like, you can create all of this stuff. And it's like you said, you click on the design, It pulls in your brand colors, fonts, all of that. It pulls in the info from the MLS, and I mean that could save 2 to 5 hours a week, maybe more. But the thing is that especially like if there's a new listing that you have, and you got to get info on that out right away, and you want it to look good, having a quick option that's systemized and easy that you don't have to sit for hours and design to send stuff out. I mean, that's huge. You can't always like you need some sort of on demand system because you can't print one set of flyers and use them for every single listing. You can't print
No,
one set of marketing material. So yeah, like there has to be some sort of system behind it. So that's awesome. And there's a great template library in there that you can check
hundreds
out.
hundreds of designs, everything from designs for business cards to door hangers to social media posts to um, even HTML newsletters we can create with it so that you could easily copy it and send it out as an email. Just
Right.
different things like that. Um, we're upgrading even our website and IDX with more AI and the ability to easily post to your Facebook directly from the mobile app. Like we're
Right.
trying to bring more things to your fingertips because we get it. You're not behind the computer all the time and you don't want to be stuck back there.
Awesome. Well, you just mentioned one of the hot ticket items that everybody's talking about today. I'm talking about AI. So, how does Design Studio integrate AI? Like, is there
Yeah.
more besides just pulling in the designs, like copywriting or what do you call it, QR codes or link? Like, how does all that work? Does that
Yeah, you can
system?
create a full QR code, you can have tracking with your QR code. The pieces that we have within the AI component is like we have the IDX kind of integration to a national MLS, so
Yep.
it'll pull in. The AI in the background is pulling in and replacing all your contact information with yours and headshots, logos, property pictures. But the other cool piece is we have more of that AI text kind of caption creator. You can say, "Hey, rewrite this property description and add it
Yeah.
friendly feel or this feel or that feel." It's gonna rewrite it. You can say, "Hey, I want you to write something about XYZ," and put in your details. It'll write it.
That's cool.
Even if you go to post to social media directly from the design studio, because you could actually connect your design studio directly to your Facebook page, your Instagram page, and if you created
Mm,
it something, you can say, "Hey, post it." You can schedule inside the design studio, to
that's
post
rad.
and create, like, AI captions, right? Because you never wanna just post a picture without any sort of caption to it or call to
Mhm.
action back to it, things like that. So it's got those little components built back in because you can take a picture, but we get it. We see agents, they go and they're like, "Okay, I'm gonna post. What do I write?
Exactly. Right.
Why?"
So that
And so it
solves that.
takes that overwhelming, like, writer's block right out. And if you
Yep.
don't like it, redo it, redo it, redo it.
Exactly. Yeah, and then not to mention, if the AI within the system is learning how, your brand and your brand tone, then that consistency is going to stay there across
Mhm.
all platforms. And we talk about the segmentation of the different tools. And so instead of being like, all right, well, I'm going to log into all my platforms, or I'm going to use this scheduler, then I'm going to open Chat GPT, and then I'm going to have Canva open. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT what I should put on my Canva design. Then I'm going to do that, copy paste, put it over, move everything around. Then I'm going to open social media. I'm going to ask ChatGPT what should I do for a post. Then I'm going to copy paste that. I'm going to put that in. Then I'm going to go back to Canva, download my post. Then I'm going to get that off my desktop and upload. So it's all these separate things where, yeah, like, hey, it's way smoother than without any AI at all. But this keeps stuff in one place, just cohesively. So less cognitive fatigue, ensuring, one tone of voice across all your marketing makes it very easy. And then, generating the QR codes, the taglines, things like that. It's fantastic. But let me ask you this: what about printing? What if I want
Printing.
these printed? Is there
Mhm.
an integration for that?
Yeah, so
So
we have a connection, it's directly integrated with a print shop, a national print shop. And you can do it a couple different ways. You can select the paper type, the print
Mm.
type, glossy, matte, things like that, and say, "Hey, send me 500 of these, 200 of these," and have it directly shipped to you. And then we take
Nice.
it a step further, okay? If you are like, "Hey, here's a postcard, but I wanna send it out in direct mail," right, to people, you can use the, map and the visual, and it will allow you to segment down who you wanna send it out to, because you can still these days send out direct mail without needing consent, right? So you can say, I want to send out to a zip code, or a polygon search, and only neighborhoods, but only people that have um, incomes this high, or only people that are renters. And you can kind of
So
segment
there's
out.
so
And
there's some intent, some high intent data
absolutely.
segmentation,
Mhm. And
which
then you
right,
can
and that go
have
ahead.
it print. It'll print, postage, and ship it out for you on your behalf. And what that solves is you're no longer going in, creating the design, and then, hey, sending the design to your printer. Oh, also, here is my list of all the addresses I want to send, and doing a separate transaction. You can take care of it. It has a shopping cart direct with our printer. They'll print, postage, and mail it out on your behalf. You can even upload your list directly there so that it can mail out on your to your clients if you wanted to send like a holiday postcard, anything like that.
That's awesome. That's awesome, and I would imagine, if you want, you're able to, add, like, a lender partner or,
Hmm.
somebody like that within there too, like, if you wanna get, other people involved to show the team effort, but
Yeah,
that
you have co-branding, and it is compliant, RESPA compliant, meaning,
cool.
let's say let's say I was Max's lender and he's the realtor, and we're like, "Hey, let's go and do a postcard together." I can set it to pay for half and then send him a link to the shopping cart to finish paying his part, all split paid right directly inside the design studio.
That's
And you have
amazing.
unlimited partners.
So so then if I think about this, I've got 2 options as an agent. I can get all my social media profiles open, get ChatGPT open, get Canva open, create all of my templates and designs in there, and then I can find a quality direct mail partner, pay them, whatever the cost of that is, consult with them with the scheduling. Then I can do hardcore research into an area or use the MLS and try to figure out, the the ideal client profile in that area, and then I can create all my marketing materials based off of that and then send them
Mhm.
out, or I can get design studio and that's it.
Yeah.
Pretty much design my brand once, set it and forget it, pick different templates, they auto populate, they pull out your listings from the MLS. You can send things out direct mail or on social media, directly from there, and that saves a lot of time and a lot of headache and a lot and actually money, because the AI, all these tools stack up. 20 for Canva, 20 for Chat GPT, 20 to get a higher end design tool or to have a consultant help you with your brand if you need that, which we help people flesh out,
Mhm.
consult on how their brands should be. So it's taking some giant pain points that we hear all the time, which is, I don't have time, I don't know how, I don't want to spend that much on this isn't easy, this is overwhelming. So all that stuff rolled into one, which is exactly why we do this. But I have one more question, and I got asked this question by a client recently, and they said, I like this design, but it's going to take me a really long time to export it in a postcard and a flyer and a square template and a story size template. So with Design Studio, can you export multiple different formats at once? Or do you have to go in, create it, and then create another one, and then create another one, and then create another one and export those?
So it depends on what you're trying to do. So it's a yes and a no, right?
Got it.
Um, so what we do is we create designs, and then those designs have a kind of brand kind of look to it, and we create all different sizes and style types for that. So yes, you could create one design and say yes, export it at this, export at this, export at this. But the difference is what are the pixel ratio and the resolution needed
Mhm.
for Facebook, for Instagram, for
Right, right, right.
postcard, for this? Those are all different. So yes,
Yes.
you are going to have to create different things, but we create them inside and you can create a similar click on the template, similar design, and it has all the
Yeah.
different ones
So it's
for you.
just clickable. So like in
Mhm.
Canva, for example, if I create a thumbnail, a YouTube thumbnail, and then I want to create a post for it, I have to copy that design and then go into the design and then pull everything
Redo it.
open, redo it all, right?
Mhm.
Readjust it and then make sure it looks right. So it saves some time on that end too. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So like some real world use cases here. Like I get a new listing. I hop into
Mhm.
Design Studio. I can get a just listed social post and
Mhm.
create an open house flyer and a postcard with a QR code and an email announcement in a brochure just by, you know, I've already selected my brand design, just boom, 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 make sure that they, everything's appropriate, they look good, and export those and disperse them however I need to, fairly simply.
Yes, you can do it
Yep.
that way, or you can actually do it an easier way. So our upgraded design studio has marketing automation built into it.
Oh,
So
okay. Tell me about that.
when your MLS is connected, and you put your agent MLS ID in there because it's not just gonna let anybody put anything in, and it's got the email that you use with your board and everything. Um, what will happen is, let's say you get a listing today, within a couple hours of it hitting the MLS, it's going to go in and create a listing package for you. And so what it does
Ah,
is it's going to create um, social posts, a postcard option, a flyer option. It's
nice.
got a bunch of different things that it auto creates. So you'll get an email within, 4 hours or so of that listing posting saying, "Hey, Max, here's your brand new listing package, marketing package." And you can download all of those designs at once with a click, and it lets you go in and edit them and everything. Let's say a week later that listing goes from, active to pending sale or pending. It'll then, hey, here's the new listing
No
update.
way.
Has pending marketing package for you. And then when it sells, it'll have a sold marketing package.
Oh
The
man,
only
that's
disclaimer
wicked.
the only disclaimer I have is if your MLS board does not allow solds, it will not update there. There are
Got it.
some MLS that do not allow that for
Right.
some whatever reason.
So
Um,
you'd have to do that. But still, that's that's a compliance thing. But that's really cool. That's really cool. It's like built-in task management. That's rad. I love that. So I mean, I guess look, flush out what you want your brand to be, what type of agent are you, and put that on the table, but then also try and test and figure out what your audience likes, because just like Shauna said, if you want to be successful, yes, be authentic, but it's not all about what you think is cool and what you like and what you think is going to resonate. It's about what does the consumer like, what resonates with them. So play into that. It doesn't mean you have to re-identify as a completely different person, because there's a target audience for everyone. But the look, the feel, the tone, all of that stuff, you may have to polish that up and be open to doing that. And then, hey, look, I'm going to put a link in this description. If you're watching it on YouTube, check that out. If you're streaming it on audio, click into the episode description. There's going to be a link of a landing page that you can go and look at Design Studio, look at some of the features, and just check out what we got going on and
I'm
book
gonna do
yourself.
you one. I'm gonna do you one better. Okay. All you have to go to is agentelite.com/studio.
There it is. agentelite.com/studio. Easy to remember. Go check it out and get a demo, get a walkthrough. I mean, this thing can save a lot of time. I've been, into graphic design for years and years and years, and I've given it a test run, and it's something for agents that I think is a big game changer. And this is all about building trust, communicating your brand, your voice, being consistent, being familiar, right? Like that snack that everybody wants to go back and eat because they know what they're getting and they already like it. And building authority, that's how you build authority. And when you couple that with local presence and omni-channel marketing, all of that together pushes one cohesive thing everywhere it needs to go. So that's what I would say is check out the link, get a demo, and just see what it's all about. We definitely encourage you to do that. And if you want to learn anything else about branding, why it works, the psychology behind it, you can ask all those questions on demos, or you can hit us up. You can DM me, you can DM Agent Elite, give us a call, whatever. Like, let us know what you guys want to learn about this. And before we go, Shauna, what besides that, is there any other challenges or any other message that you want to get out there this week for the real estate agents that are going into the Christmas holiday season here, and for next year?
Yeah, my biggest thing is don't stop, don't let up, right? All you have to do is shift your priorities from showing houses to focusing on how do I set my brand up and build that visibility so that I can be the one that's found first in 2026 and the one that's trusted most in 2026. So look at that. Do a kind of a review on your brand and where are you now? You know, search engines have changed. AI is there. And you have to go keep updating with the times and make sure that you are the visible agent in your market.
Boom. Love it. All right, y'all. We'll have a great week and a great Thanksgiving. We'll see you guys next Friday. And yeah, I got nothing else. So we'll see you next time. And we appreciate your loyalty and patronage.
Awesome.
See
Bye.
ya.